If you've been diagnosed with an L4-L5 or L5-S1 herniation, bulge, or rupture like me, and you're dealing with chronic low back pain, I'm gonna give you some exercises you can do on a beginner level to begin to build strength back in the low back without causing more pain. So after rupturing my L5-S1 disc and was being diagnosed with degenerative discs above that site, I was in a world of pain. So my back was always tight, always achy, no matter what I did. I was told to do deadlifts, I was told to do bent over rows with barbells and dumbbells and do all the things that were supposed to strengthen my low back so the pain would go away, but it always made it worse. If that's you, I want you to start with something a little bit more simple that allows us to activate these muscles in a quiet, gentle way, build confidence so we can do the other exercises that you're gonna see in this video. So make sure you stay tuned. The first one I want you to start with is a simple pelvic tilting, but we're gonna do some muscle activation, which is really, really important. So if you're in a lot of pain and you're very sensitive with back and forth rocking, what you can do is just start very slow, very simple, and I want you to build up tolerance just by rocking your pelvis forward and back. And this is all you're gonna do. Now, if you wanna level up, make it a little bit harder, I want you to focus on activating muscles, both in the front and the back, along with matching it with your breath. What this is gonna do is activate these painful muscles, this area in the low back, along with focusing on activating the muscles that will help relax this area at the same time. So what this looks like is we're going to breathe in, and we're gonna breathe in, and as we breathe in, we're pushing our belly out, so we're expanding our abdominals, trying to relax these, and contract our muscles gently in the low back. So we're focusing on low back muscle contraction. Inhale. And then as we hold this for a second, we're going to slowly exhale and rock back. And we're going to flatten our back using our abdominals. So we're not trying to crank and really push down, create a lot of compression. We're just trying to gently activate these muscles. Feel your muscles activating as you're exhaling to flatten that low back. And then I want you to rest, completely rest in a neutral place in between each rep. So forward and back is 1 rep. We're gonna do this again, okay? Sucking in, contract the low back muscles, contract, 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 hold it, now come out of it. Exhale, contract lower abs, abdominals, ribs down, flatten the low back. I have 0 pain doing this. And then in between that, I wanna completely relax and take 1 or 2 breaths. The key with this exercise is finding your tolerance. So as you push out and you're contracting that low back, you're not trying to push into pain. You wanna be real gentle, contract the low back, feel those muscles contracting, but then you also have to then focus on shutting down the low back, activating your abdominals, and flattening that low back out and really trying to put a stretch, a gentle stretch on that low back. So you're activating the front of the abdominals and then the back. So with this relationship, what you're learning is how to activate the core to relax the low back, but then as you tilt forward, tilt your pelvis towards that wall there, we're activating those muscles in the low back, building strength, but in a gentle way. Hey, before we jump into this next exercise, if you are actually currently in the gym working out in hopes of your low back pain going away with the exercises you're using and it's not working, the best thing for you to do, or at least to start with, is my pain-free training blueprint. What this is a free guide that I've created. You can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training, and I'll literally map out the entire back-friendly workout curriculum or formula that you can actually take with you, build your own back-friendly workout out to reduce your pain immediately. Oftentimes people are building the wrong workouts for themselves. They think they need to be building strength, but they should be dialing things back. They should be swapping exercises when really they should be just eliminating certain exercises from their workout diet. Grab this free guide. It'll map out everything you need to know to make sure your workout is not causing you more pain. fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training. Now this next exercise, you're gonna need some kind of bench. You can do this at your local gym, or if you have a bench at the house. The goal here is to build some endurance and blood flow into the low back. Typically when you have a lot of chronic low back pain, muscles begin to respond negatively. So they're tightening up, they're cramping up, they're spasming. They don't wanna be messed with, and you're trying to mess with it, so we have to do it gently. How I like to use this specific exercise is first I'll adjust my bench so that I can have a slight angle on the bench back part. And I'm just gonna lay down and I'm gonna get into a comfortable position. Oftentimes we forget that The goal of being able to move and to build strength in the low back is being as comfortable as possible and not just pushing through pain. You don't want to do that. So with the arm raise exercise, what you're going to do is I suggest you do it first with just your hands so there's no weight added. The gravity and your upper body weight is enough to challenge you at first. And essentially what you're gonna do is have a good, nice neutral position, whatever feels comfortable for you. Have a slight brace, but good thing we're using this back rest of this chair or this bench to kind of give us some stability. But just in case, create a little bit of stability in your trunk. If you need to, you can also contract your glutes a little bit, just engage your hips at the same time. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm just going to bring my arms up and I'm gonna hold for about 7 seconds. And I'm gonna come back down. Now, if you feel better holding for longer, by all means you can do that. What you might find is that if you do have a sensitive low back, you might have to just do reps. So you're sitting here like this, just with body weight, and I'm going to rep it out. So every time you come up, you're really trying to engage and contract those muscles going down your spine along with the lats and the whole upper back. And then when you come down, fully try to let this area relax. It's super important that we're not just trying to crank through reps and get a pump or build that strength in that way. We want to look at it from a pain perspective, coming up, engaging, and as I come down, I can relax. So you can level that up with some weight if you've got maybe some 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds. The goal here is not to go super, super heavy, but instead find a weight that's challenging, that allows you to control what you're doing, not overcompensate, but more importantly, be able to lift, but then also relax after each set. Lastly, we want to build some endurance in these muscle tissues, right? We're trying to activate them, relax them. Now we also want to build some stability or some endurance to them, right? When we're doing things like bending over, often or we're sitting or things like that that involve us to be in these compromising or scary positions, our body can tend to protect itself. So we're going to build some endurance in the spinal erector muscles and just the muscles in the low back. What I like to use here in my home studio is this like extension contraption thing. If you have a commercial gym or access to just a traditional extension machine, it's usually just like most gyms have it. You get your feet in here, you lock your feet in behind pads, you have 2 handles right here that come out, and you can do basically extension work with it. What we're doing is just hold, so we're working on endurance. And what you're gonna do, if you have a setup like this at the house, simply we're trying to get into an angle that allows us to engage these low back muscles, and including the muscles in the upper back and mid back. But essentially we're trying to find that neutral position that what feels good. We're not bulging our stomach out and overextending our low back. We're really trying to stack ourselves properly. That's something that feels really good to us. And we're just gonna simply hold here. We're just gonna hold. And what you should feel if you take your hands and push on the back of your back up and down your spine on the right and left side, you should feel all of these muscles being activated and just contracted. And if you hold this for certain periods of time, and what I suggest you do is specifically if you have a lot of pain right now or a lot of sensitivity with certain movements, is just start with 30 seconds. Once you get to 30 seconds, come out of it nice and slow. Take a few deep breaths, and I want you to physically feel the muscles in the low back relaxing. That's a big misconception or a big mistake I see people making all the time, is they do the exercise thinking the exercise is where the magic happens, and it is a good thing, but what's more important is how your body responds once you get out of that. Because if you are in protection mode, your body is afraid, your mind-body connection is very overstimulated because of chronic pain. It's gonna cause it to contract and restrict, okay? So once you feel good, you take a little bit of a break, get back into it. Essentially, it's the same thing, nothing too crazy. If you do have the extension machine at your gym or at home, you can put your weight on the actual bars that come out, or if you have something like this, you can push on the push off of the bar, to support some of your weight in your arms and shoulders while you build up the ability to hold this extension. Now you can work up to a minute, 2 minutes. Once you hit 2 minutes, being able to do this without any kind of symptoms, then you can work on sets, doing 2 sets or 3 sets. And this is a good way on a beginner level to build strength, to build endurance in the low back. Quick note, if you're doing these exercises and your pain isn't going away or it's making things worse, you're not broken, you're not fragile, you just might need a different strategy or an approach with these specific exercises or doing some other ones that would probably fit you best. Obviously, I can't help you in the moment right now because this is a starting point for building strength in the low back on a beginner level. But if you feel like you need more help, you feel stuck, you have a lot more pain going on than just how a few simple exercises might be able to help, reach out and let me know where you're at, what you're going through. We can have a very simple conversation to see if whether or not you would be a good fit for my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. This is where I take you from being in pain, getting out of pain, building strength correctly, and then getting back to your full-blown workouts absolutely pain-free. If you want to have a conversation on where you are, whether or not what I do can actually help you, go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. That'll open up a conversation that means you can start and see where you're at. Before you run off, make sure you go grab that free guide, fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training. If you're in the gym wanting to know whether or not your workout is helping or hurting you, that free guide will answer all of your questions. fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training. Thanks so much for watching, guys. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode.